Okay. Hello, Marcel. So we're just going to have a little conversation about conscious conception and family planning. And I would love to hear your experience and also about even health coaching.
Awesome. Well, thank you for this opportunity. And I was preparing slides for a webinar about sleep deprivation. Actually, it's optimal sleep. It's a series. And I thought, well, I have to share what happened to me when I had my first baby. And exactly at that moment was when I saw your request about collaboration in this topic. And although I'm a health coach and I help people to get more energy, sleep better, reduce stress, my niche is for people 45 and up. So I help a little older people to navigate through sleep deprivation. I remember the first time I suffered in my life, the consequences of not being able to sleep was when I have my first baby. So she's 15 now, so I survived, and people can survive too. But I think you can survive better if you are prepared and if you have someone telling you what's going to happen, right? Like I asked my pediatrician, I could barely open my eyes and ask her, how come people don't tell new parents about these things? And they say, well, because there won't be more babies anymore. So you have to be prepared. You have to really know what's coming. And one of the things I wasn't ready at all was the sleep deprivation as a consequence of, the breastfeeding, the schedule. Of course, it's temporary. It's not that once your baby's here, you're going to suffer in that sense. But it's good to know that that could happen. And it's good to know all the things you can do to prevent that to be, affecting you. Because as a mom, as a new mom, you need to have good quality in the breast milk that you are feeding your baby. And sleep is so important. The level of stress, I guess my message is self-care. Mm-hmm. That's the bottom line here. Becoming aware of how you prepare for facing motherhood.
Yes. Love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And yes, so I'm a postpartum doula. So that's really what drove me to do this preconception planning, is because I see families struggling in the fourth trimester. And so I gained all my experience, not only as a doula, but as a nanny and as a researcher. So I researched at Yale University for 2 years, researching autism, and really all my career experiences have led me to this prevention of disease and this like holistic model of health. And so by working with younger and younger populations, I was able to realize that it starts with the mother, right? It all starts with the mother and the father, of course, being a unit, especially. And yeah, sleep is like the number one thing that parents come to me challenged with after baby's already here. And so I would work with them in the home. And now I'm realizing like I can help these families with their expectations before even pregnancy, right? Sleep's affected then too.
So, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I guess parenting starts at home. And when I say home, I mean yourself. Mm-hmm. You have to have a solid foundation of your own needs and cover those and be prepared, so that then, it's like the same thing when you go on an airplane and you put the mask first so that you can help others. It's the same thing here. And I can share with you a little bit of my background. I come from a science background because I thought, my family of origin was all about health. My mom we would live in a small town, but her job was to extend information and help the moms, the ladies of the house at the farms and young people in the country areas. So that sort of impacted me, and I wanted to do something to help people, and especially in the health area. So I went to study biochemistry, and then I had a situation where one of my cousins, my dear cousin, had cancer, pancreatic cancer. And I was doing research back then, and that brought me to go into a biotech direction where my goal was to find answers to cure cancer because of what happened to someone that so close that I loved. So I went through many research projects. I went to Brazil. I got my master's degree there. I was working in vaccine production, immunology. Then I joined a group in Philadelphia, a group of Italian scientists, and they were doing cancer research. So long story short, all my journey through that, research process, the way we see it in the Western world, got me a little disappointed because I was just seeing that science was covering just a part of the whole, right? That we are more than our body. We are also our emotions, our mind, our spirits. So I became very curious about Reiki. I became a Reiki practitioner. I know you do that too. So that was something, and I'm a yoga teacher.
Yes.
So I started exploring other areas that would, complement the analytical mind. It's not just about knowledge and information. Mm-hmm. And that was preparing me for becoming a health coach that is merging information and knowledge. That is very important. I'm all about preventive, right? Because my goal mm-hmm. is to help people to expand their health span, the time they are alive, but they are still in good condition, optimal health. Mm-hmm. So when people reach senior years, they're not looking back saying, oh, I wish I knew that. That became a sort of my purpose in my coaching practice, to wake up people and say, hey, it's not too late. Or, hey, pay attention to this, pay attention to that. And the same way I wish 15 years ago, someone would tell me, sleep is so important. Create boundaries, protect your sleep as your life depends on it. Nobody told me that. And I suffer, and that was my first baby. I had 3 babies. I have 3 daughters. Mm-hmm. And the last one, she was born 11 years ago. And it really affected me at a point that I had to quit my job because I didn't feel safe driving myself back and forth. There was a point that I was like, okay, sorry, this is my passion. I really like my job, what I'm doing, whatever. My safety comes first. And then I quit my job. And during this last 10 years, I was researching, doing my own things at home. I became a health coach. And I think now, if I can help, if I can assist or somehow inspire people to, pay attention to fundamental things that we all know, but until something happens, we don't remember the importance. So my whole program builds into 3 pillars. One is sleep. So I help my clients, to optimize the way they sleep and create rituals and do a sleeping hygiene and all of that. The second part is all about stress reduction, because stress alters everything. And the third one is how to gain energy in a natural way. So I help them to make better options in terms of food or, lifestyle decisions or choices that they can do to improve their lives.
Beautiful. I love that. And I see a lot of similar mission about prevention, right? And like laying the foundation. And I love like the sleep, the stress reduction, and the gain energy, something that everyone can benefit from. But the idea of these self-care practices, like giving couples this information before they even enter parenthood, like making them understand the importance. That's where I have a hard time, is like making them understand the importance of this, and so within my program I'm creating, that's why I'm bringing in more practitioners to talk about the importance of preconception planning and the sacredness of it, because it's something that our culture just doesn't recognize,
No.
just get married, get the house, have the baby, and everything, figure it all out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, nobody tells people, there's no instructions on how to face this new chapter. And even being a mom 3 times, it doesn't extrapolate. It's like, oh, I'm already a mom, so I can assume that the second or third or fourth or whatever baby will be the same. Every time you bring a new being under your care, it's a different experience, and you have to be standing grounded. You have to be strong, because it's a really challenging commitment, and you cannot say, oh, I changed my mind, I'm returning the product. It's for life, and it's a big commitment, and it's a big investment on yourself that people need to understand and have a plan, right? Because they may understand the logic behind, but not until you give them a step-by-step plan on how to cover those needs and how to feel strong about it, that they will implement, and they will become, powerful enough to be parents.
Yes.
And it's funny, I can share this with you. I belong to a church community here, and we are in a ministry where the pre-K now, my husband and I. And it's funny because we help with the spirituality domain. Some couples help about finance, and some about whatever. So our subject is spirituality. And it was funny because we were doing this twice a year, every year for 10 years. And then I was like, what's happening? Is it because COVID? Yeah, probably. But somehow we stopped doing it. And then I realized it's, maybe because when I talk to them, I go straight to the point, and they are like in love, and they are, preparing the wedding plans and in that bubble, right? And there I go and say, wait until you have kids. Wait until you are hoping to escape the house. Wait until you can watch a movie in 5 consecutive nights in segments of 10 to 15 minutes each, because it's real. So the difference now is that that's reality. But if you plan ahead, if you prepare for, I think you can do everything normal to be ready for.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Planning. I always help with couples plan, right? Whether they're already pregnant, about to go into birth, or even just had a baby, we plan it. But I always say it's never going to go according to your plan, right? Like fundamentally, the way that you respond, like within your nervous system, you're going back to your self-care practices, right? Like understanding how to regulate your emotions and your thoughts, and in times of deep fatigue, right? Like a lot of people have never experienced that 24/7 parenthood for the first 12 weeks, when, it's really longer than that before a baby really sleeps through the night, right? Like, and it's considered 5 hours is sleeping through the night for an infant, right? So that can take 4, 6, 7, 8 months, depending on sleep environment and all these things.
Baby, yeah.
And the baby, the temperament. And so just by having these important conversations, right, to these couples that are planning for a baby, it's going to better prepare them, and I myself, I don't have any children yet, but my husband and I are in this realm of planning and talking about it and what that looks like, and it's funny, I say, like, sometimes when I'm doing this work, I'm like, oh my God, have I scarred myself? Because there's those moments when I'm like, oh, I'm never having kids, but I love going back to the spirituality of it, right? Like if it's a calling and it's a desire, and it totally is for me and my husband too. And it's like, let's go about this consciously, make the choice to conceive, make sure that we have our health in order, mind, body, spirit, I plan and order a tribe of people that are going to be ready to help, you know, and just do it in a more of a conscious way. And that's why I've created the conscious conception.
Absolutely. And I think that you nailed it right exactly before, because that's when you need to, you know, it's like a hibernation. You grab your attention, and everything that feeds you, your body, your soul, your whole being is you. It's about you now. Because once you start being a mom, once you start parenting, you have the responsibility that this new person in your life requires your help to do everything, right? So that will take energy, that will take so much time, effort, energy from you. And that's why the previous step is so important, it's so big. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you're doing this. This is an amazing idea, and I hope you can reach out to many people. This is super important.
Yes.
Everybody should do something like this. It's instead of a pre-K, it would be something a pre-parenting.
Yes.
And not just for first-time parents, I would say for every time you think about it. Yeah.
Yes. Just
absolutely.
I mean, and traditionally around the world, cultures do, they recognize the importance and traditions around the world, but not here in America. So and then also, like, in times past, there was this lost feminine art of like conceiving through an awakened womb. And so that's really what started to stand out for me as I'm with my Reiki and yoga and having this beautiful tribe of women back in Colorado. I'm in Virginia right now, but just surrounding myself with like enlightened women that have this vast knowledge of womb health, connecting with your womb, right? And preparing that space as a vessel for a divine child in hopes that we can really change the species, really. I mean, the way our world is, you know, you look around and you see all the despair, and it all goes back to the way you were mothered from in the womb, from the first 7, 8, 10 years, you know, like it's all building up. And I find myself intimidated almost by my own idea of launching this because I feel the power behind it. So I really,
I think you know, I applaud you because you have the gut to have this audience, and this is very important because that time, that close interaction with your baby when from conception to labor is so important, so impactful that it will stay in both lives, the mom and the baby, forever. And preparation for that, the right energy, you know, on all the level and at the energetic level too, is an attachment that both parts have, and that's eternal, that's forever. So you want to be prepared for that. And those are things that are not visible. And I think our culture here, I mean, I'm from Argentina, but in general, the Western world culture is, unless we see, we don't believe kind of thing. And coming from a scientist who does Reiki, believe me, it's a struggle for me. I cannot explain. I can still not explain how energy works, but it works. And this, the intimate moment from conception to life, to labor, is one of the most important things in the energetic level of a person at the beginning that will impact. So you have to be prepared for that. And it's not like overnight. You need time to prepare to reach that level, right? And then once that level gets cultivated enough, then it can host another human being and then deliver. I mean, it's a very complex process, and it's very challenging in terms of how to create awareness in a pool of people that are victims of a culture that does not prioritize that, for example, right? Or people who are driven by distraction, that we are bombarded with so many things, and you need to, teach them how to prioritize this and how to deal with this. So I understand why you feel challenged, because it's not just, oh, you need a ritual and you're done. It's not as simple as that. Yeah, you're dealing with life.
Eat these things and you'll be fine. It really goes into like all of the body, all of the mind, all of the spirituality, even with the energy within the couple. So I have a program that I have already offered. So my business is Positive Postpartum. It's my doula business, and I'm bringing forth more preconception awareness into the business. But my conscious conception program was 4 coaching calls. You'd get a free guide, a 12-week guide to prepare. And that's really looking at things you can do within the 12 weeks before conceiving. And we would have 4 calls together, and those were more about like lectures, understanding the sacredness of this time and doing a lot of inventories within yourself and your couple. But now, like after Virtual Coach and seeing like the profound impacts that like the worldwide community had on me, connecting with people around the world, I'm like, I want to grow it bigger and create more community so that multiple couples can join at once, see and feel and understand other people's journeys at once, to already start creating that tribe from the very beginning. Because it takes a tribe, right? Like for you as a new mom to be able to sleep, you have to feel safe and secure and nourished. And it should not be on you to be feeding yourself nourishment, right? Like people should be helping you to get that rest.
Yeah. I was very lucky that my mom came from Argentina and she stayed with me to take care of me the 3 times, especially the first one. And I remember telling her, can you please let me sleep for 8 hours? And she did. And I slept, and I was like, wow, what a difference.
Yes.
Yeah. So after my beautiful baby, the next beautiful gift that I got back then was to be able to sleep 8 hours. So yeah, you need help. You can't do by yourself. I mean, it's so hard. You need a system. You need help. So this, so you're thinking now to extend this program that you have into a more group coaching format.
Yes.
Right. Okay. But you already have the structure. It will be just the format, just the amount of people doing it at the same time.
I'm changing it. The structure used to be like 4 lectures with the couple. Now I want to automate those lectures so you have them ahead of time, and then there'll be more group conversations, where everyone's on the same call. We'll have a topic and discuss, and then we'll also bring in other practitioners to speak to. And then if that couple wants more one-on-one individualized coaching, then that will be a separate degree to the program. Because I want, like I said, to create that community. And I also think that more couples are going to want to join at the same time. So just for my own sake, to do a group program and call in however many couples that are having this desire to go at it consciously, feeling optimally prepared. I can't promise the outcome, right? Like
of course.
But I can promise this strong foundation and even this stronger bond with your partner, Yeah.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And knowing that other people are going through the same hesitations and uncertainty, gives you more confidence to ask questions, to learn from others. It's a community sense. It's very important. And I think that when you join with your partner, it's less intimate, like, like some, and I have that with sleep, that you say, oh, it's something so common in general, everybody sleep, right? However, sleeping is something so personal. Why? Because there are so many things attached, and in a group it's hard to share, oh, I don't sleep well because I have this nightmare about this and this and that. So people may feel more at ease on a one-on-one format. But when you do things as a couple, it's fun, it's more fun, it's more interactive, and I think people will be more prone to share and learn from the community.
Totally. Yes. And yeah, fun is the priority, just like sleep, totally. And I'm also trying to figure out how to incorporate like yoga and Reiki into this. I think that like bringing just like ceremony and ritual even into group coaching is something that's very new to me. I've always done it like one-on-one, even in my practice. Well, I have done a couple group Reiki sessions with another practitioner, but just wanting to bring in those spiritual elements too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
You can bring Ria with her sound meditation.
Yes, she did offer. She did offer that. Yes.
Yeah.
So however, like if you're feeling, I know this isn't really your niche, but if this sparks interest,
I'm in. Absolutely, count on me. I mean, if you if you have your curriculum and you have like one of the lectures will have to do with sleep, then I can talk about it and prepare a few slides and do something for you. Or if you want me to be there live with the couples, I'm open. We can try, and then see how you feel with me. I already know that I can work with you because we have Reiki in common, we have yoga in common, we have unfortunately not the age in common, but we have the same vision to help people, right? And that's very strong. And I think that the other details accommodate as long as we keep that same intention. Everything else are just details.
Yes. I love the idea.
So let me know.
Okay. Speaking about sleep, yes. I mean, even just for preconception health, and pregnancy health and all of that is so important, especially postpartum. I'm right now, I'm making a list of all the practitioners. I'm getting that curriculum together and getting like a timeline. I'm thinking like 6 weeks, like having 6 weeks of couples of group coaching around this. And then more like private coaching will be more like 3 months. So as far as my practitioners go, I'm like, do I want my practitioners on both? Like, or do I want them just on the group coaching? I'm still coming up and getting clear about all of it, like as of this week. So I just really appreciate your interest, and I would love to collaborate, and I can just keep you updated, as I get more clear about things. Are you there? Here. So is sleep like the number one thing that you would have liked to be more prepared about? I mean, there's so many things, right? You would say sleep is the number one.
I would say sleep as the ABC for self-care. You have to have two in order to give one. And sleep it starts there. And I think at least that was what most affected me as a new mom. And I'm super conscious about preparing for. So I was aware of all the things that could happen. But until that happened to me, I didn't understand the value of how sleep deprivation affects your life, your emotions, your relationships, your desires to live. I mean, if you don't sleep, it's like you don't have water. It's like you'll die because you won't have the energy, the life force that you need to sustain yourself. And on top of that, another human being. And that affects the quality of your milk as a mom. That affects the way you treat your baby, the way you enjoy. You know, I remember thinking, oh, I wish this phase is done because I want the baby to sleep through the night so I can be free. You know, you don't want to have those feelings. You want to enjoy every single day of the time your baby is still a baby, because they grow so fast.
Yes.
And then you cannot control them anymore. So it's crucial that you enjoy when they are little, and you turn around and then you look at them and there's something new. You know, when the first time they smile, and then you get distracted and you start looking at them again, and then they are staring at you, and then they smile at you, and it's not just a reflex, it's because you are, I mean, it's magic. You don't want to miss those things, because that is what feeds me right now. When I'm in a situation that I need positive energy, I anchor that to the first time my first baby smiled at me. And that's, you know, that's something I'll never forget, that experience that I went through, and it's inside me, and nobody will take that from me. And I feel blessed that I had the opportunity to have that. So you don't want to miss that. And if you're sleep deprived, you will miss those things. So you need to be very well rested to absorb that and all the magic around.
Yes. And that's why we're going to have you speaking about sleep and teaching all these conscious couples and future parents and getting them prepared from the start to have good sleep hygiene, and how they can have good sleep hygiene even during nighttime parenting, right? With the help of...
And I promise I'm not going to scare them out, because that's what I did in my pre-K thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
Like, wait until you have kids. Life is great, but wait until you have kids. No, I'm not. I'm going to, prime myself to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I say, like, I'm as a doula, I'm like, I'm your safety net. You're going to fall, right? But I can catch you, right? I'm not going to let you're going to be digging a hole, but I'm not going to let you throw yourself in it. You know, like, we're going to stop you before you fall into your hole that you've dug for yourself, because it is challenging. I mean, that's why I'm a postpartum doula, so I can help parents during this transition. And there's just so many challenges, and sleep is definitely, the fatigue piece is definitely on the top of the list for sure. Yeah.
But when you see the repercussion of your work, how big it is, it's amazing. And I admire you for taking this part of the life of someone, because it's really it's one of the most needed help in that phase, that people don't know, right? That they need that help. And it as a consequence of that, all the things, good things that can happen if you take care of the couple, of the parents, of the mom, of the dad, of the baby. I mean, everything at the beginning, because that will set up the start point for the whole journey as parents.
Yes. And that's where my neuroscience research led me into understanding the brain changes that happen during this childbirth continuum, right? And the matrescence of the early 40 days. And it's like we have the opportunity each time we give birth to restructure our whole brain, for love or for stress. And even through fatigue, right? You can find joy as long as you know that you're going to be supported and get that 4-hour chunk in, or that you feel safe enough to leave your baby to go lie down, or you have proper touch and massage so that you feel at ease and rest, so you can let it go. I mean, there's so many pieces. Yes. And so it's my passion, and really in my life's purpose to really stay in this niche of newborn parenthood, like you said, because it sets the whole family up for success and to thrive, not just survive, because we're not just surviving. We need to thrive. We need a new energy into the world. We need peace. We need love and healing. And all of my realizations around generational trauma even, right? Like it's just keeps getting passed down. Like we can put it into this, and it's up to the parents to take the power back. Yeah.
All
Truly.
about the consciousness. So your title is perfect because that's exactly the point here, to raise the awareness, become conscious of what you're dealing with, and creating systems to make sure you navigate through this important phase and be successful.
Yes. Thank
So,
you.
well, thank you. Thanks for sharing your ideas with me. I really like, and I will support you.